A focal point in the heart of Rapid City is being ravaged by flames tonight. Good evening, I'm Steve Long. A wildfire started on M Hill just before 7 o'clock. Julie Oberlander joins us live now with more. Julie? Police named Mark Allen Heinen as the main suspect in the June shooting at a North Rapids storage unit. The 33-year-old Heinen faces alternative counts of second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter for allegedly shooting Walker, who walked to the Burger King on East North Street. And I'm Steve Long. Now the cars once again outnumber the motorcycles, and Public Works has reopened all the streets. Jerry Cole is the director of rally and events and says the next few days of cleanup include tents coming down, trash cans being... The lengthy search for 3 men reported missing on the Pine Ridge Reservation has come to a tragic end. The 3 were last seen May 7th, and their bodies were found last night in a steep ravine that borders the White River on the reservation. Just as Donald Trump starts to reveal a warmer side of himself, another shocking campaign shakeup with the announcement his campaign chairman is stepping down. Meanwhile, the Clinton camp plays damage control, responding to revelations the Clinton Foundation had been accepting foreign donations from other countries during Mrs. Clinton's time as Secretary of State. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest from the campaign trail. Black Hills Fox was recently granted access beyond a second line of security out at Ellsworth. It's a massive area nicknamed the bomb dump, more accurately, the munitions storage area. Out on a story earlier today, and it was sunny, and then it rained, and then it got sunny, and then home for dinner tonight, and it was sunny and raining at the same time.
Yeah, made for some nice rainbows. We got a lot of pictures of rainbows in.
This scene up here is absolutely gorgeous. If you look behind us, there are bikes as far as the eye can see, and they say numbers are down this year, but you would never know it from our vantage point. Less traffic should mean fewer traffic citations, but the South Dakota Highway Patrol says numbers are actually up for this year. About 100 more traffic tickets and moving violations have been issued this year compared to last.
But it's about perfect out here tonight.
It may be even a little hot. Last night we were hiding from the lightning. Right now we almost need some suntan lotion.
Great night for motorcycles. And
you know, when the rain moved out, the cold air moved in. So if you're planning to come down to catch a concert tonight or just socialize, I'd highly recommend a jacket or a sweatshirt. You're looking at part of Ellsworth the outside world seldom sees. Access here is limited, for good reason. The munitions squadron, we're told, is responsible for 678,500 pounds of net explosive weight. That is a big number.
Munitions are anything that contains explosives inside of them. We have the smallest things from bullets to grenades to bomb bodies, a 2,000-pound bomb body, a 500-pound bomb body. We have cruise missiles that contain explosives in them. Enclosed
by additional security and not close to any highly populated areas of Ellsworth. How rare is it for people to see this? Even the base public affairs officer had never been here until now. The munitions storage area covers 647 acres, including 86 facilities.
This line right here is called long row. Each one is built next to and touching the one next to it. And if something were to happen, say a bomb exploded inside of one of these things, it will prevent the next structure from being sympathetically detonated as well.
These carts, out in the open, are loaded with inert or non-explosive bombs for training. You can tell by the color blue. We also see what's known as earth-covered igloos, built in the early 1950s, but built to last.
On top of each igloo, there has to be at least 24 inches of earth or soil. On these ones, it may look like sandbags, but it is actually concrete on top of them, which just adds to the protection level that they have inside of them.
Many are used for securely storing a variety of explosives, but at least one is used for munitions inspection, an area that any explosive at Ellsworth, large or small, must pass through. Any risk is taken seriously. We had to surrender our cell phones in this building over the potential that phone signals could set off sensitive materials. What's inside this big wooden box is a potential lifesaver.
This is a linear charge assembly, and it goes on the inside canopy of the aircraft, and what it does is it will, in the event of emergency, will eject the canopy from the aircraft to make a safe exit for the pilot.
And 28th Munitions handles more than the explosives themselves.
We are responsible for maintaining and inspecting all of the suspension equipment, the equipment that holds the bombs into the jet. before they're dropped.
There's more than one kind of bomb holding unit. This type drops a bomb and then rotates so it can drop another.
Our goal is 100% weapons release every time. Anytime the pilot hits the go button, that bomb needs to come off and it needs to engage a target that they decided it needed to go to.
Whether that target is ISIS or any other threat, properly working equipment is vital.
So on the bomb, there's hooks, there's lugs, and they get locked into these hooks here.
So this will just basically have a very small explosion that pulls those hooks out and lets the bomb drop.
Responsible for items worth $250 million. It is no surprise this massive area, the munitions squadron, is limited access, lightly traveled, and heavily secured. A Rapid City man has built a miniature version of America's first official national monument in his front yard, which raises a lot of questions, one of which is why. Turns out that question has many answers as we go along the way to meet the man who built his own personal replica of one of this area's biggest attractions. To truly appreciate Neil Zita's yard work, it helps to understand his perspective, his objective, and his philosophy on art.
I guess I like to create artwork that is taking real things and then putting them in places or situations that you've never seen them before.
Take, for example, Mount Breadmoor.
Everything that's rock is now bread. Rolls, loaves of bread, whatnot.
Or this one, a fish casting a line to catch a human, and his three-part series featuring Dinosaur Park.
One where the dinosaurs all leave the park and go down to Canyon Lake for a nice, cool, refreshing dip. And then the second one is where they go downtown during the 4th of July celebration, and then the third one in the series is they're back on Dinosaur Hill, and this time it's the Carnivore Carnival.
His picture-making days are largely past, although not by choice. His latest inspiration began when a black walnut tree was cut down in this very spot.
And when he cut the tree down, it was about that high off the ground, because he cut it about waist high, and then at that point, it looked like Devil's Tower to me.
The stump is now at about ground level, but when many might have the stump removed, Neil had an idea. 4 years, multiple versions, and who knows how many hours of labor later, on top of that old stump sits a mini Devil's Tower made of
cement and the stuff that you put in between cracks of cement. It's like a expansion kind of product, like a rubbery compound.
Yeah.
And I use that for a lot of the outer part of it. It's easier to work with and form, so I use that primarily on the outside.
And no surprise, he's added some flair by including features that aren't really there at the real tower, like the Theodore Roosevelt Tunnel.
He is the president that actually made Devil's Tower the first national monument in the country.
He's built a flowing waterway around the tower, remarkable detail, especially considering this.
And I fall down a lot. Some days I fall down 100-200 times, so my knees have taken a real beating.
That's right. Some days, he says, 100 to 200 times per day he falls. Neil is fighting Parkinson's disease.
On the driveway, you might notice some X marks. Sometimes those X's mark gives me my brain a target to look at and something for my feet to aim for.
He says he first noticed symptoms about 17 years ago, and the Parkinson's has progressed.
And one of the things they told me to do is to keep busy. The worst thing I can do is just lead a docile lifestyle and just sit on the couch. And so I found this to be therapeutic and a way for me to keep busy and active.
The Parkinson's has ravaged his motor skills, so the pictures he used to create are now part of his past.
I'm glad I did it at the time, because now I have something that I can go back and look at and still share with people.
Last summer, at a Parkinson's fundraising hike up in North Dakota, there was a surprise guest.
Then they announced that Michael J. Fox was going to join the group, and I thought, what? And I thought, this is incredible. This has got to be a dream, you know?
Parkinson's often impacts older folks, but for Zita and for Fox, it hit early.
It was the first time I've ever talked to somebody that I knew was speaking my language and understood what I was going through.
Despite his muscles not cooperating with his brain, he still finds a way to create something people appreciate.
I've had people that will stop and say, that's awesome, or that's really cool. I've had people lay on my lawn trying to get the right shot. People ask for my autograph, which just blows my mind.
Because while Parkinson's can fight his body, it cannot steal his heart for art. Because no matter how many times he's fallen, Neil Zita is still standing, just like the tower in his front yard. If you've met someone cool along the way, please call or email us to let us know.